What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Piston Night Productions. My name is Jacob, and this week we are going to be digging into the Dodge finally. If you've watched the previous video, which maybe I'll remember to put a link up here, just trying to turn this into a really good towing truck, a really good road trip truck. And one of the biggest issues that I've had with it so far has been the cooling. Not so much that it is overheating constantly, although it has come very close on a couple of occasions. But one of the biggest issues, especially with this truck, is that the clutch fan in it is incredibly loud. It's crazy loud. When it comes on, it will drown out pretty much everything else that's going on in the truck, and it does drone a little bit and it gets quite annoying. So the best way to combat that currently is by going with a much better rad, so that way the engine just stays cooler overall. When we towed the BMW to the track, if you haven't checked out that episode, make sure to check that out as well. We ran into an issue where the rad cap popped off, and that's because the little edges on top of the radiator are currently starting to wear away and just get old. It is an older truck. We actually ended up splitting the lower coolant hose, and it started leaking. I managed to get it back, but when it came to cooling, obviously there's only one choice in our minds and one company that we reached out to, and that is our friends over at Mishimoto. So they have a fully aluminum TIG welded drop-in rad for this truck, which is fantastic. They also hooked us up with some of their hoses. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be swapping that out, hopefully keep the truck at a much better temperature, especially during warm weather, hot weather, and towing, as well as it does increase capacity a little bit. It's just much better flowing. The lifetime warranty is fantastic. If anything ever happens, I can get a replacement from them, and yeah, their rads fit incredibly well. So there's a reason why we keep going back to them, why we keep using them. It's a great company to work with. If you are looking for a rad, please make sure to check out Mishimoto before you go anywhere else. So yeah, that is the plan. There is a lot to move out of the way on this truck. We've got to get the AC radiator condenser thing out of the way. We've got to get the intercooler out of the way, a couple of bottles, so and drain out all of the coolant. Thankfully, in this case, when our rad cap popped, we drained most of that coolant out on the highway. So it's basically just straight water in there right now. So I'm going to be dropping all of that out, and I'm going to be running a flush through it and then topping it up with coolant after that flush is run, because we did put water in, so maybe some corrosion. We want to get rid of that corrosion, any buildup with a coolant flush, and then we'll be putting in the proper Dodge orange coolant with it. So yeah, that is the plan. So we got to get over to the truck, start popping things apart, and yeah, start getting this gigantic rad into place. So hopefully everything comes apart nicely. Yes, we do have to drop all the water and coolant mix out of this. One of my favorite things, especially by Mishimoto products, is that if you are doing this, if you're not super mechanically inclined, you just have questions about what needs to come out, they're really good and have a lot of very well put together instructions on how to do it. For this one, they're suggesting to take out the intercooler and the condenser, as well as a couple of bottles, although the one in their video isn't quite the same as mine. But I'm gonna just take a look, see what kind of the minimal amount of things I need to remove before I get started. So yeah, first off, we're gonna drain out the coolant, and then start taking stuff apart. All right, so far pretty good. Only broke one bolt. I did need to take the condenser rad out, and in the process taking the intercooler out. Yeah, so far so good. It does take a very long time to drain this system with that little port. It might have been easier to take the little rad hose off, but I'll probably do that shortly. But yeah, so far so good. Can't really complain. I'll just keep at it for right now. See how it all comes apart, but making headway. Just excited to get this big thing out. So I think some of the issue is the fact that how dirty all of this stuff is. It's thick. It gets thick in there, so I'm gonna clean everything while I'm in here, but holy cow. That's crazy. Okay, so you can see obviously part of the biggest part of the issue here is the fact that this rad is just caked with dirt. But regardless, I mean, I've got it out. Obviously, I'm not just going to clean it and then put it back in. We've got the updated version right here. Oh, so much nicer. So while I've got everything out, I am going to clean off everything that's back there, degrease it the best I can, and then we'll slide this bad boy back in once I swap over the hoses to the Mishimoto ones. So we'll give that a quick clean, get everything looking nice and sexy, and then we'll get this bad boy in there. Pretty excited. Okay, so I got everything finally washed up as best as I can without getting in there with heavy duty degreaser. Now it's time to I'm going to transfer over the mounts that were on the old rad onto the new one. Slide that in, get the shroud in, and then start bolting up all the pipes and stuff. I think that's going to be the easiest way to go. And then of course we'll attach the Mishimoto coolant hoses, a lot more robust than the stock ones. That was one of the issues. The other one was that it tore, so you know, these rad hoses are significantly stronger and should last a lot longer. So yeah, we'll get that rolling now. So one quick thing, unfortunately I'm waiting on the rad hoses to show up. They were supposed to show up today and they haven't. So I'm just going to move ahead with just some stock replacements. With that being said, I'm going to do a coolant flush on this first. So when that's done, I'll be swapping these over to the Mishimoto. Just taking the truck out for a quick test drive. We're going to see if we can kind of get it to overheat. It's about 25 degrees today. I'll do some city stuff, do some highway stuff, and see if the fan will kick on, because normally it would pretty quickly. Okay, so you can see right now we're just a touch over 95. It's about 25 Celsius today. Normally, right now, the fan would be kicking on pretty much every time. As soon as it hits about that 95. So, yeah, as of right now, nothing, which is fantastic. So as we come up to a stop here, normally once this is up to temp, if we stopped, that clutch fan would be roaring right now. And as you can tell, we're actually sitting right on 95 perfectly, which is fantastic. So yeah, I think this rad is doing exactly what I need it to do. And very, very happy, very impressed. Like I said, normally right now, all you'd hear is clutch fan, and that's it. So, needless to say, things are going pretty well. I'm quite impressed. I'm very impressed. I haven't had the clutch fan go on once. We've been driving for about half an hour. Okay, so now we're doing some city driving. Same thing. We're still sitting just above that 95. Little bit of stop and go here, but yeah, not too bad at all. Like I said, normally the clutch fan is running pretty much all the time, so pretty happy. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it. Roughly about 2 hours with you know, the odd life interruption and dealing with kids and stuff like that. Really wasn't that bad. You do want to make sure that you take out stuff like the coolant bottle. You do need to take out the intercooler and the cooler core here in order to get everything off, because a lot of it does hang off of brackets within the radiator. But yeah, super easy install. Very, very happy with it. Like I said, I'm going to do a coolant flush, and I'm going to fill it back up with proper coolant. Everything starts up. The nice thing with this system, you know, our rad cap is sitting pretty high. We've got the overflow bottle over there that's sitting pretty high. So what I'm going to do is just run this, you know, let it do a good heat cycle, watch the temp gauge, make sure that it doesn't get an air pocket and overheat. Alternatively, I did run it while filling it, so that's good. But yeah, other than that, I'm incredibly excited to get towing with it again. Obviously, this old rad was just covered in crap, and that's a big reason why that fan was coming on and being so loud all the time. But that being said, I have a lot more faith in this without having those plastic end tanks, and just a much better rad in general. So thank you again to our friends over at Mishimoto. Thank you so much for hooking us up with this and kind of saving my butt when this rad was basically on its way out. Shh, be quiet, okay? I'm almost done. So yeah, if you are looking for awesome cooling products, I can't recommend Mishimoto enough. Absolutely love everything they've done. Make sure to check out the BMW build to see all the Mishimoto products that are in there. And thank you again, guys, for watching everything Pistonhead Productions. Once again, thank you to Mishimoto for helping us out. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out the Pistonhead podcast if that's something you're into, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Dad,
Good job.
Are you done?